Hey guys, in this month's Historical Fiction 101, I'm going to be giving you a list of book recommendations that all take place in Hawaii. So, I have never been to Hawaii. Seems great. Looks like they have a lot of great food and oceans and beach and whatnot. This list is going to be all historical fiction based books that take place in Hawaii. I was trying my best to have some sort of variety and diversity with these recommendations. Yeah, guys. I'm not sure if I did a really good job with that, but yeah, that's going to be the point of the comment system down below. If there's some really interesting books that I left off of this list that are maybe better recommendations than some of these that are on here, just let me know. Let's get going. And yeah, as always, I'm going to be looking down at my computer on Goodreads, reading off the book synopsises. So yeah, now is your time to pause this video, pull up Goodreads, and if any of these books sound like your cup of tea, add them to your TBR right now. First up, Sharks in the Time of Saviors by Kauai Strong Washburn. And I will preface this by saying that there are some names and places in here that I don't think I'm going to be pronouncing very well. So yeah, just a quick disclaimer. Beware some of my pronunciation because it's going to be pretty bad. This book is set in 1995, but I've kind of been including things that take place in the 90s as part of historical fiction. I am including this. Set in 1995 in Hawaii, on a rare family vacation, 7-year-old Nanoa falls overboard a cruise ship, oh my god, into the Pacific Ocean. When a shiver of sharks appears in the water, everyone fears for the worst. But instead, Noah is gingerly delivered to his mother in the jaws of a shark, marking his story as the stuff of a legend. Oh my god, that's crazy. Noah's family, struggling amidst the collapse of the sugarcane industry, hails his rescue as a sign of favor from ancient Hawaiian gods, a belief that appears validated after he exhibits puzzling new abilities. But as time passes, the supposed divine favor begins to drive the family apart. Noah, working now as a paramedic on the streets of Portland, struggles to fathom the full measure of his expanding abilities. Further north in Washington, his older brother Dean hurtles into the world of elite college athletics, obsessed with wealth and fame, while in California, risk-obsessed younger sister Kauai navigates an unforgiving academic workload in an attempt to forge her independence from the family's legacy. This is like kind of a bit of a family saga. Some of it in Hawaii, and yeah, it seems like the siblings all kind of venture out into different countries and locations and whatnot. Next up, The Lieutenant's Nurse by Sarah Ackerman. And I think Sarah Ackerman is on this list several times, you guys. It seems like she loves writing about Hawaii. This takes place in November 1941. She's never even seen the ocean before, but Ava Cassidy has her reasons for making the crossing to Hawaii, and they run a lot deeper than escaping a harsh Michigan winter. Newly enlisted as an Army Corps nurse, Ava is stunned by the splendor she experiences aboard the steamship SS Loreline, even more so by Lieutenant Clark Spencer, a man she is drawn to, but who clearly has secrets of his own. But Ava's past and the future she's trying to create means that she's not free to follow her heart. Clark is a Navy intelligence officer, and he warns her that the United States won't be able to hold off joining the war for long. But nothing can prepare them for the surprise attack that will change the world they know. So yeah, this is taking place a little bit before the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and then I guess kind of the aftermath of Pearl Harbor, it sounds like. Next up, Molokai. I might be butchering that, you guys. It looks like Molokai to me, by Alan Brennert, and this is part of like a trilogy, it looks like. Set in Hawaii more than a century ago, this is the story of Rachel Kalama, a spirited 7-year-old Hawaiian girl who dreams of visiting far-off lands like her father, a merchant seaman. Then one day, a rose-colored mark appears on her skin, and those dreams are stolen from her. Taken from her home and family, Rachel is sent to Kalupapa, the quarantined leprosy settlement on the island of Molokai. Here, her life is supposed to end, but instead she discovers it is only just beginning. Oh, this sounds really good. Next up, Diamond Head by Cicely Wong. At the turn of the 19th century, Frank Long, a fabulously wealthy shipping industrialist, moves his family from China to the island of Oahu, but something ancient follows the Longs to Hawaii, haunting them. The parable of the red string of fate, the cord which binds one intended beloved to her perfect match, also punishes for mistakes in love, passing a destructive knot down the family line. When Frank is murdered, his family is thrown into a perilous downward spiral. Left to rebuild in their patriarch's shadow, the surviving members of the Long family try their hand at an ordinary life, vowing to bury their gilded past. Still, the island continues to whisper fragmented pieces of truth and chatter until a letter arrives 2 decades later, carrying a confession that shatters the family even further. Ooh, this sounds really good too. I like this. Next up, another book by Sarah Ackerman here, Red Sky Over Hawaii. The attack on Pearl Harbor, she's gone back to Pearl Harbor again, it looks like. The attack on Pearl Harbor changes everything for Lana Hitchcock. Arriving home on the Big Island, too late to reconcile with her estranged father, she is left alone to untangle the clues of his legacy, which led to a secret property tucked away in the remote rainforest of a volcano. When the government starts taking away her neighbors as suspected sympathizers, Lana shelters 2 young German girls, a Japanese fisherman, and his son. As tensions escalate, they are forced into hiding, only to discover the hideaway house is not what they expected. Oh, this sounds really good too. You know, seriously, so far, every single one of these books, I'm loving. Next up, my third Sarah Ackerman book on this list, you guys, Radar Girls. Daisy Wilder prefers the company of horses to people, bare feet and salt water to high heels and society parties. Then, in the dizzying aftermath of the attack on Pearl Harbor, Daisy enlists in a top-secret program, replacing male soldiers in a war zone for the first time. Under fear of imminent invasion, the wards guide pilots into blacked-out airstrips and track unidentified planes across Pacific skies. But not everyone thinks that women are up to the job, and the new recruits must rise above their differences and work side by side despite the resistance and heartache they meet along the way. With America's future on the line, Daisy is determined to prove herself worthy, and with the man she's falling for out on the front lines, she cannot fail. From radar towers on remote mountaintops to flooded bomb shelters, she'll need her new team when the stakes are highest, because the most important battles are fought and won together. Honolulu. Oh, and this is another book by Alan Brennert. I didn't realize I had 2 books by him on this list. It says here, Honolulu is a rich, unforgettable story of a young picture bride who journeys to Hawaii in 1914 in search of a better life. Instead of the affluent young husband and chance and education that she has been promised, she is quickly married off to a poor, embittered laborer who takes his frustrations out on his new wife. Renaming herself Jen, she makes her own way in this strange land, finding both opportunity and prejudice. With the help of 3 of her fellow picture brides, Jen prospers along with her adopted city, now growing from a small territorial capital into the great multicultural city it is today. But paradise has a dark side, whether it's the daily struggle for survival in Honolulu's tenements, or a crime that will become the most infamous in the island's history. Oh my god. Apparently it's based off maybe a true story. I'm not sure what crime it's alluding to. Speaking of picture brides, this book is called The Picture Bride by Lee Guomyi. Once again, I am probably butchering that, you guys. I'm sorry. Of the 3 lies the matchmaker told Willow before she left home as a picture bride in 1918, the third hurt the most. Never one to be deterred, Willow does all that she can to make the best of her unexpected circumstance, but it isn't long before her dreams for this new life are shattered, first by a husband who never wanted to marry her in the first place, and then by the escalation of the Korean independence movements, unified in goal but divergent in action, which threatened to split the Hawaiian-Korean community and divide Willow's family and friends. Braving the rough waters of these tumultuous years, Willow forges ahead, creating new dreams through her own blood, sweat, and tears, working tirelessly towards a better life for her family and loved ones. Next up, Hula by Jasmine Alani Hawks, and this actually just came out in May of 2023. Okay, you guys, I'm probably going to butcher this name as well. Hai is the youngest of the legendary Napaka dynasty, only daughter of Laka, once the pride of Hilo, granddaughter of of Hulai, Hula matriarch on the Big Island. That was a lot. Oh God, you guys, that was a lot. I just messed up there. But the Nupka, oh my goodness, the Nupaka legacy is in jeopardy, buckling under the weight of loaded silences and unexplained absences, most notably the sudden disappearance of Laka when Hai was a child. Hai dreams of healing the rifts within her family by becoming the next Miss Aloha Hula and prove herself worthy of carrying on the family dynasty. She demonstrates her devotion to her culture through hula, the beating heart of her people, expressed through the movement of her hips and feet. Yet she has always felt separate from her community, and the harder she tries to prove she belongs, dancing in dancing until her bones ache, the wider the distance seems to grow. Soon, fault lines begin to form, and secrets threaten to erupt. Everyone wants to know, Hai most of all, what really happened when her mother disappeared, and why haven't she and her grandmother spoken since? When a devastating revelation involving Hai surfaces, the entire community is faced with a momentous decision that will affect everyone and determine the course of Hai's future. I'm not quite sure when this book is taking place, but it does say it's taking place over the course of like 3 generations. So I'm assuming this is taking place in the 20th century somewhere. And the last recommendation that I have here, The Color of Air by Gail Tsukiyama. This is a gorgeous and evocative historical novel about a Japanese-American family set against the backdrop of Hawaii's sugar plantations. Daniel Abe, a young doctor in Chicago, is finally coming back to Hawaii. He has his own reason for returning to his childhood home, but it's not to revisit the past, unlike his uncle, Koji. Koji lives with the memories of Daniel's mother, Mariko, for the love of his life, and the scars of a life hard lived. He can't wait to see Daniel, who he's always thought of as a son, but he knows the time has come to tell him the truth about his mother and his father. But Daniel's arrival coincides with the awakening of the Mauna Loa volcano, and its dangerous path toward their village stirs both new and long ago passions in their community. And then it says alternating between past and present from the day of the volcano eruption in 1935 to decades prior. The Color of Air, it weaves the stories of Daniel, Koji, and Mariko to create a rich, vibrant, bittersweet chorus that celebrates the lifelong bond to one another and to their immigrant community. This sounds really good too. So you guys, that is it for all of my book recommendations that take place in Hawaii. In the comments below, as I said at the top of this video, just let me know if there's some other books set in Hawaii that I left out. Just let me know. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.